Well, it's All the Hits Z100. We are honored to have Carrie and Fred from Portlandia in the building. Woo!
All right.
I love doing interviews in studio, and I love to see if the people I'm interviewing clap for themselves, because sometimes it's really awkward because I'll start clapping, and it's just kind of my normal interview start. Sometimes I'll just sit there, and I'm the only dude clapping, and I feel like a douche.
I consider applauding the audience, because I think in a live situation, I like applauding the audience.
Yeah, and also I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Thank you. You had my back, and see that we've gotten off to a great start. I love it.
Clapping for ourselves. We were just clapping because it's like that auto response when someone else is clapping.
A party.
It's a party.
I love it. I love it. You know what else is an auto response I've found? Have like 2 or 3 people in a crowded place start running. I guarantee you other people will start running too.
Oh, yeah.
Just 2 or 3 people on the sidewalk, just all of a sudden, just people.
I would run.
I would run.
There's a small sense of paranoia there.
Right?
I've seen also in New York, people just like, if a group of 4 people are sort of looking up at something and squinting.
Yeah.
Not in a touristy way. I'm always like, what is up?
What's going on up there? But then it ends up being a touristy thing.
And it's nothing. I'm not looking at anything.
So, first of all, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Oh, our pleasure.
We love the show Portlandia. We just can't get enough of it. I think before we get into the kind of how the show got started, because I kind of want to talk about that, but something that even before I found out you guys were coming in, something that I always wondered, having watched the show from season 1 and now the season 2 is starting here in a week, next week, right? Mm-hmm. I get it. Anyone who's spent a considerable amount of time in Portland gets it. Mm-hmm. But this is a national show. What's the response been from people in Chicago or New York or Miami? Because we all get it. We all know how accurate it is.
You know, I found a new way to answer this question.
Because you get it every interview, don't you?
No. It's a good question. But this is what I realized. The Wire, one of my favorite shows. Uh-huh. You don't have to have grown up in like an impoverished, gang-ridden section of Baltimore to love The Wire.
True.
I've never had to go to outer space to love Battlestar Galactica. So I think if you write a show that people can relate to because it tells a story or it has characters that you enjoy, spending some time with, then the show becomes universal. And we've definitely found that people all over the place relate to the show.
Do you find that people come up and tell you that they're dying to see Portland and see if it's really like how you guys...
Yeah. We've met people who... one guy said he moved here because of the show.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, I did not know that.
I don't know if I believe him, but like he did say it. He was just like...
That's awesome. So I was doing my research a little bit, and I was watching on your website. You guys have like a little behind the scenes inside Portlandia, and I found it interesting how you two hooked up. You were both fans as musicians of the other person. Mm-hmm. And you kind of explain how that worked exactly.
I mean, I was obsessed with Sleater-Kinney, and we had mutual friends more than anything, and we just kind of knew all the same people, and just ended up instantly, getting along. So
I can't imagine, over the course of having an idea to having an actual television show on a network is a very easy thing to get from step A to step B, because a million people have ideas. How did it go from being an idea? And I know you guys worked on I'm sorry, remind me the name of the Thunder Ant. From that to actually becoming an actual television show that's on a network. Explain the process.
Well, I think with anything, there's a small element of luck and timing. I mean, we had accumulated about 10 or 11 videos online under the moniker Thunder Ant, and we felt like we wanted to be a little more ambitious and intentional about it. So we made a pitch, and we brought it to Broadway Video, which is Lorne Michaels' production company.
Right.
And but at the same time, IFC was kind of rebranding itself as a network that was going to focus on original programming. Mm-hmm. And they were going to focus on comedy. So we kind of came in right at the time that they were looking for something like our show. So that, I think, the process is hard. And I think we realized later how lucky we were, because we know, a million people have been working on pitches over and over again, writing pilots, and it was just a lot of timing and a lot of just meeting with the right people. IFC just got it right away.
That's awesome. Something else that I noticed in that behind the scenes video, you guys describe Portland as almost like the third main character, and that's so true to me, because it's such like Portland is such the dynamic of you two would be so weird anywhere else. I mean, obviously the show is called Portlandia, so that would be totally weird. But it really makes the city part of the show, and I love that. So you grew up around here, not here though, correct?
Right, in Redmond, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle.
Okay. And then you spent a good chunk of your life here in Portland.
I've lived here for a decade now.
And Fred, you've never lived here, but you just kind of you just dig it.
Yeah, being here a lot, but I'm from New York.
Right on.
Yeah.
Something, one of the sketches that you guys did, sorry about that. One of the sketches you guys did touched very close to my heart. It was the DJ night. Because I've lived in Portland for 2 years, and every single person I've ever met in Portland has a DJ night. You guys are so on point. As a matter of fact, about a couple people in this room have a DJ night, and about 15 people who work in this building have DJ nights. I don't know what it is about this town. Everybody thinks they're a DJ.
Yeah, Fred flew out here for a couple days in the spring before we started officially writing, and we just wanted to kind of brainstorm. We were sitting at this coffee shop in Northeast on Alberta, and I walked out of the restroom, and I'm just like, what? There is a DJ in this coffee shop. What is going on? Like, this is a Sunday afternoon, and we just started talking about it, how constantly, like, our inbox, email inbox, or Facebook was just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm DJing and this night and that night.
Just friends of ours.
Yeah, just friends that, it's not anything like official or grand. It's not like two giant turntables. It's just somebody with like an iPod, list, or like a couple crates of 45s, or like, DJing like mixtapes. And it was, anyway, so then, that piece kind of stemmed from there.
I was at the mall the day before Christmas, and the Buckle had a DJ in the window, like, and he was like decked out head to toe in like affliction gear, and like he had and this was nighttime. He had sunglasses on, he had his headphones on, and he was doing his thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, this guy's standing in a window in a mall, thinking that he's in the middle of a club. I don't know how he gets from point A to point B there, but when I saw that, I was just cracked me up, because literally everybody in this town is a DJ, which is just, it's nuts.
Hotel lobbies.
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go. I mean, like, the guys like panhandling on the entrance to the 5 have turntables, I feel, So how much of the show is improv? Because I feel like you guys are close friends, and when that happens, a lot of times, do you guys have a set script? Do you guys have outlines or just ideas?
All of it. We do have scripts to just get a structure. It's so much easier to improvise within like a map or a blueprint. So we know sort of the beginning, middle, and end roughly of where the story's going to go and who the characters are. But in terms of dialogue, that's mostly improvised. That's like 95% improvised. Just
so it sounds more real.
Yeah.
It's just easier that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went on Facebook and Twitter this morning, and I said I was going to have you guys here in the studio, and I always try to get a couple of listener questions, but there wasn't a lot of substantive stuff. A couple of people want to marry you, Fred.
Wow. That's cute.
And people love to quote your lines on SNL or in movies, so I had somebody tell me that I needed to say, "Mi scusi, mi scusi." I mean, it's kind of old school. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Thanks.
Eurotrip is just, I love that movie.
Thanks a lot.
I love that movie. But not a lot of substance in the Twitter and Facebook questions. So, talking about SNL and well, we weren't talking about SNL, but I was ad-libs. That brought me back to SNL. Kind of a long circle. How do you is it tough coming back and forth to do two shows on different sides of the coast, which are both relative? I mean, SNL's live, so you kind of got to work on their schedule, and
it's not tough at all.
Yeah,
it's just it's really easy because the schedule works out. That's through May, and as soon as I'm done, I come right over here for the summer.
So you spend the summer here, and so season 2 is complete. The entire thing is complete.
Finished it.
Cool. And
I just go back and forth. Mm-hmm. It's an easy flight.
What about this tour? Tell us about the Portland. Are we calling it Portlandia Live? Is that what we're?
Sure.
Yeah.
Portland.
Or is there a more clever name? I don't know. I didn't read the press release that closely.
Yeah. There was a moment where there were some people brainstorming clever names, and we decided to keep it modest.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. It's kind of just, it's like a variety show. It's not so much like the sketch show live. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's Fred and I on stage. We're going to play songs, show clips that people haven't seen from the upcoming season.
Talk a little bit.
Yeah, take questions, do some audience participation. And in each city we have different guests, so it'll be unique in each city.
Show videos.
January 6th is the season premiere of the second season, which you guys must be just ecstatic about, because this is just a fun thing for you guys, and now it's a multi-season television show, which has got to be pretty rad for you guys.
Yeah, we feel really lucky.
What can we expect from season 2?
A lot of pickling. Pickle jars.
Pickle jars.
Some weddings.
Oh yeah, there's a wedding.
Yeah.
Some kids. There's more kids this season.
Kids, because kids are like the Antichrist in Portland. If
There's a way that they have been.
you're not cool if you have kids in Portland.
Oh, really?
You're only
No.
cool if you have a dog in Portland.
No.
That's what we touch on that.
Yeah.
We talk about what dads look like.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Because over the summer, we noticed a lot of like sort of gray-haired but tattooed dads.
Well, everybody's just tattooed.
And we're like, that's like a new thing.
Right. I love that, though. That's so funny because I come from the Midwest where if you don't have a kid by the time you're 24, something's wrong with you. And then moving out here where if you have a kid, you're not cool at all.
Right.
So I love that. I love that you guys are going to touch on that.
Where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin, Milwaukee, originally.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's a really nice city.
Yeah. Love it. You guys will have some Milwaukee people when you do your Chicago show.
Yeah, it's close by.
So
I've been up there a bunch.
give a shout out to Milwaukee.
We will.
Love it. Love it. Fred, you play two of my favorite characters on SNL, by the way. They're both on Weekend Update.
Right.
And one of them is the Garth and Cat.
Right.
Or is it Cat? Garth
Yeah,
and
that's Garth.
Yeah. I got to ask you, so, and this might be a secret of the trade and you might not be willing to tell me, but so you're the one making up the songs and Kristen Wiig is trying to keep up with you, correct?
I lead it, I start the song, and she just follows.
She just, and that's total ad lib. Do you plan any of that?
Yeah. No, we can't plan any of it.
No. I
So
just
it's
got to
kinda
ask
like,
you.
So if you're looking at me, right?
Well, you know what I was going to ask you is I was going to ask you if we could do it.
Yeah, ready?
Should we do it?
So, you know that old song? That Z100 song?
Right. Yeah, the Z100 song.
When we're
driving along.
When we're
driving along.
the
Five,
not the
four.
It's gonna
Could
be
be a good day.
And you're hired.
Woo! I kept up better than I thought I would. Who needs Kristen Wiig?
That's a game that I would do to annoy my sister, not singing, but she would, when we would just get on each other's nerves,
Yeah.
she would start talking and I would just do that to her.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get somebody to stop talking.
It really is.
It's like, just stop talking.
On that too.
Yeah.
The other character I love, which the name is escaping me right now. And you haven't done it this season, I don't think. The guy who comes on and has very strong emotions about news, but doesn't
Nicholas
actually
Fane.
say anything.
Nicholas Fane, yeah.
Yes.
He does like newspapers.
The newspaper guy, and you're like, well, I feel really strongly about. See, when you look at it, I love it, dude. I'm a huge fan of Weekend Update and your stuff on Weekend Update. So I was really excited to. You got to bring that back this season sometime, man.
It's just you never finish a sentence. That's all.
Right, it's great.
Half sentences and then that's it.
And the stuff that you do, the Garth and Cat and that one, you would think that you were trained in ad lib, but really, I mean, you guys are just both musicians who kind of stumbled upon the whole comedy thing. Really,
Pretty much.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Got very lucky.
Love it. Well, you guys, the new season of Portlandia premieres on IFC January 6th. The tour, when our tickets on sale right now? Sold out. Jeez, now I can't go. And we're just so excited. We think we're really happy that you guys have kind of lifted the national spotlight on Portland a little bit. And obviously, Fred, I'm a huge SNL fan, so appreciate you guys coming in. And
Yeah, thanks for having
best
us.
of luck on season 2 and in the live show. And enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks. More applause.
Fred
you.
and Carrie, more applause. All right. All the hits, Z100.